Okay, grab a seat, because today we've got two people who got branded the villain for doing absolutely nothing wrong. First up, a guy who fixed up a little house on his parents' land, then got ambushed the second he started moving his own furniture out. And then, a neighbor pushed to the absolute edge by a pack of feral teenagers trashing her apartment pool and screaming threats at her. Parents turning on their own kid. Strangers threatening violence over a balcony. Oh, you're not ready for how far these people take it. A 20-year-old guy turned the little house on his parents' property into a real home, until they suddenly decided his teenage sister should get it instead. And now, they're furious that he's taking his own stuff with him. So I, 20 male, have been living in a one-bedroom, one-bath house on my parents' property for a year and a half now, with cheap rent. The original deal was for me to stay until I was ready to move out, or until me and my girlfriend marry. About half a year ago, they changed up that and set the end of the summer I'd have to get my own apartment so my sister, 17 female, could move in. This was not the original plan, so I had basically renovated the entire house to make it as comfortable as possible for me. Everything except for the oven, dryer, and washing machine was either bought by me or someone gifted it to me. Because all of this stuff is mine, I recently began to start moving things out gradually. Bookshelf, bed, one of the AC units, my trophy stands, etc. All I have left in this house is my TV, work desk, which will be moved next week, my couch, fridge, and microwave. Yesterday, my parents entered my house while I was at work without asking or anything, and then waited until I got home and argued with me about taking all the stuff out the house. I argued with them as they said I couldn't take all this stuff because then my sister would have nothing for when she moves in. I told them that since I either paid for everything or had the items gifted to me, that they were mine to do with what I please. They call me an asshole because now my sister has nothing for the house and will have to buy everything while she makes barely any money. I told them that that was not my problem, but was there since they decided to change everything up at last second, screwing me over especially while I also struggle with money because I had truck payments and bills. They continue to call me names and say I was being petty and an asshole for those before leaving. However, I don't think I'm an asshole for taking my stuff with me. For context, they're normally really amazing parents, but the whole ordeal with the house was the worst I've ever seen them. So am I the asshole? Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "You didn't renovate a house that wasn't yours. You furnished it. Why would anyone be upset that you're moving your belongings out of a home you're being evicted from? This doesn't add up." Another commenter said, "I had also repainted the walls and had the carpet replaced, but that's something I can't take with me. He paid for it or it was gifted to him, so it walks out that door with him." In a story. They flipped the deal at the last second, kicked him out for his sister, and somehow he's the petty one. The whole comment section is screaming this loud and clear. Not the asshole. If you're enjoying these stories so far, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. A tenant just wanted to enjoy the pool at her pricey apartment complex until a pack of teens hopped the fence, wrecked the place, hurled the furniture into the deep end, and started screaming threats at her for simply standing on her own balcony. Hi, I feel crappy for calling the police in my apartment, but I felt like I had to. Yesterday, a group of kids/teens, I'd say, probably ages 11 to 15, hopped the fence at my apartment's pool, invited all their buddies, and caused such chaos that nobody else wanted to use the pool. I'm familiar with the people who live here, and I have never seen any of these people before. Some people were grilling, and I guess these kids pissed them off pretty bad, and cops were called. I saw on the side of my complex 2 officers talking to a group of around 10 kids. I thought they were gone. I guess not. I heard yelling outside my bedroom window and saw a kid hopping the fence and some of the kids from earlier yelling. Around an hour I go on my balcony and the pool was vandalized. Pool chairs broken and moved, poolside tables thrown into the pool on the deep end. Just crappy retaliatory behavior. I assume someone else called the police last night or the landlord as I saw a mom and kid talking to someone on the phone about it. Today the pool was very clearly closed, chains and locks on the fences. Yet again, I saw 3 of the kids from yesterday in the pool. I was talking to my partner on the balcony about it, and the kids heard and started yelling obscenities at me. I took a photo to just send to the landlord. Wasn't planning on call the non-emergency police. I go out a second time. It looks like more crap was thrown in. The kids are screaming obscenities at me, calling me ugly, saying they're going to beat my ass. I wasn't even interacting. I was just standing there. I called the non-emergency line, and the police promptly came. Same officer from yesterday. He is clearly sick of this crap. He says, "Oh, you're back today," and told the kids to freak off and asked why they couldn't exit the pool normally. Our apartment complex pool will be most likely shut down for the summer, and this is one of our few amenities. We live in an expensive place. Am I the asshole for calling the police? Update. The landlord has emailed me back after I sent the email I talked about in this post yesterday. They said to keep calling the non-emergency line and let them know if it's repeatedly the same people. As of this morning, 2 pool lounge chairs have been stolen, and the poolside tables are thrown around or in the pool. The non-emergency police don't detain these kids or drop them off to the parents. They just let them walk home from what I've seen. This will probably still continue to be an issue, and I anticipate the pool being shut down by next week. Let's see what the comments have to say. This person commented, "They hopped a fence and trespassed. They caused a ruckus too. I wouldn't have batted an eye if it was a few people and they were calm and didn't push it." Another commenter said, "Exactly how I felt. If they were respectful, not yelling at anyone and everyone for simply saying they hopped the fence or, I don't know, break pool furniture and throw it into the pool, I would have never called. I try not to be a Karen. Trespassing, vandalism, and threatening to beat her up, and somehow she's supposed to feel guilty? Calling the police wasn't being a Karen. It was the absolute bare minimum. The whole comment section is backing her up on this one, no question. Not the asshole. So what do you guys think? Was this person the asshole? Drop your verdict in the comments below. So there you have it, 2 people dragged through the mud just for standing up for themselves. But now I want to hear from you. Were they both totally in the right? Or did somebody cross a line? Drop your verdict in the comments and tell me exactly who you'd side with. I read every single one, and trust me, I've got even juicier stories lined up, so I'll catch you in the next one.